All of you have been to Tirupati?
Yes.
Tirupati, and then up the hills, Tirumala hills, and had darshan of Lord Venkateshwara, Lord Srinivasa. Oh, today is a story about Lord Srinivasa. So long ago, nowadays we have roads, we have pathways, lot of facilities are there, even hotels are there. Earlier days, I remember when we were small children, even hotels were not there. We had to take everything and cook over them. Of course, prasadam will be given in the temple, but we had to cook also. So you take a place over there where there is a kitchen, so everything has to be taken from here. So it was not very easy those days. So therefore, then now there was one great devotee of Lord Venkateshwara, Lord Vishnu, Vaishnavite saint. His name is Tirumala Nambi. What is his name? Tirumala Nambi. So he was staying, he was a little old, elderly person, and then he was staying on the hills, Tirumala hills, and he was doing seva to Lord Venkateshwara. Now what seva was he doing? He was doing Tirtha seva. It's called Tirtha Kainkaryam. Kainkaryam means seva, service. Tirtha means water. So therefore what he used to do every day, he used to bring water. Of course those days only mud pots were there, big mud pots were there. He used to go and bring water for Lord's Abhishekam, for Lord Venkateshwara's Abhishekam. Where he had to go? He had to come down the hills 8 kilometers. There was a small lake, it's called as Pushkarni Tirtham. 8 kilometers down he had to come. He had to collect the water from Pushkarni Tirtham, walk up all the way, and he had to walk through the forest. There was no pathway also there. So forests there, pebbles are there, stones are there, thorns are there, wild animals also were there those days. But he was not at all scared of all those things. Slowly he would come down. Imagine every day walking 8 kilometers. Down the hill walking is little easy. And then afterwards he would fill up the mud pot with water from Pushkarni Tirtham, and he had to climb up the hills 8 kilometers up, which is very tiring and exhausting. But no complaint, he loved doing the seva for Bhagavan. And then he will take the Tirtham, and then Abhisheka is performed to Bhagavan. Every day this was going on. Lord also tests sometimes how sincere the devotee is. Really he has got love for me and devotion for me. He had Tirumala Nambi was a very great person. In fact, he is one of the teachers, guru of Sri Ramanujacharya. Have you heard of him? Like we have Adi Shankaracharya, we have Ramanujacharya, we have Madhvacharya. So Ramanujacharya's guru he was also. That is another story. So every day he used to do this. Now one day, as usual, Tirumala Nambi came down the hills, and then he collected water from Pushkarni Tirtha, and he was going up slowly. He has to walk, and he's not walking just like that, right? Hands are not free. What is he carrying? Carrying a big pot of water also on his shoulder. That weight also is there. So slowly he was walking up. He was coming closer and closer to the temple. At that time, he heard a very sweet voice from behind. He heard the voice, Tata. What does Tata mean? Grandfather. He was an old person, elderly person. So he heard, Tata. He looked behind. Who is calling me Tata? Till now nobody called. He doesn't have anybody known, no relatives over there. Who is calling me Tata? He looked behind. When he looked behind, he saw a small boy. Maybe 8-year-old, 9-year-old, hunter boy. He was carrying a small little bow, and arrows also were there with him. He's all dressed up like a hunter boy. Very charming, he was looking, very cute, he was looking. What do you want? See, somebody calls him Tata, you will feel very nice, no? What do you want? The little boy said, I'm feeling very thirsty. Can you give me some water? You've got so much of water in the pot. Can you give me some water? Tirumala Nambi looked. He didn't feel like refusing the child. Children, anybody asks for water, we will never say no. Okay? And that was a small child, exhausted, he's feeling tired, he's asking in the hot sun, he's asking for water. He didn't feel like refusing. But at the same time, if he gives water to the little boy, again he has to come all the way down. to Pushkarni Tirtha. Again fill up the pot with water. Again he has to go up. He didn't have that much of energy. One thing. Another thing is, the time for the Abhisheka also, fixed timings will be there for all the pujas. It will become too late for the puja. At that time, correct, he must go. Abhisheka time, he should be there. So therefore, he looked at the child and he said, very lovingly, he smiled and said, look, I am very, very old. I am already exhausted. If I give you water now, again I must go down. Again I have to collect water and come up. I am feeling already I am feeling tired. I am exhausted. I don't think I have got so much of energy. Also, the time for the Abhisheka it will pass. It will become too late for the Abhisheka. I can't go late also for this particular ritual. Do one thing, you are so young, you are bubbling with energy. Children, no? You can run fast down. It's there. Pushkarni Tirtha is there. Water, so much of water is there. Run fast down. You can drink as much as you want water. And you can come up also fast. Children will run up the hill also. You can do it. Sorry, he said, and he turned round and started walking towards the temple. Suddenly what happened? He heard a big noise. What had happened? He was carrying a pot of water, right? Somebody had hit the pot with a stone. And what had happened? Small crack in the pot over there. Water was flowing. And when he looked behind, he saw the little child very happily drinking the water. He had, thrown a stone at the mud pot. It had cracked. A small little hole was there. From the hole, what started coming out? The water started coming out. And he was putting both his hands and drinking the water merrily, happily. What to do? Tirumala Nambi felt very sad now. He had no heart to scold the child also. He sat down over there and he said, see, now what has happened? The pot is broken now. Now he can't even go down with this pot and fill it up with water. Why? The water will leak and come out, no? He said, see what you have done. You broke the pot. The water has all come out also. Maybe you drank some water. Now again I must go back to where I am staying. My little house, small little place where he was staying. I have to go there, pick up a new pot, again come all the way down, fill it up with water and then again come up. And I know it's going to be too late. What did you do, my little child? Then the little one smiled and said, Tata, don't worry. You don't have to go down so much, 8 kilometers. You don't have to go down and collect water. I will arrange for you to get water very close to the temple. He is just wondering how this little child will do anything. What did the hunter boy do? He picked up his bow and it took one arrow, placed the arrow on the bow, and then he said, look, I'm going to hit over there at the top of the cliff. Mountain, no, cliff is there. He said, I will hit the top of the cliff where we are standing. So he released the arrow from the bow. It went up to the top of the cliff and it struck over there. The moment it struck the top of the cliff, water started pouring down. Water started coming down like a waterfall, small little waterfall. Water started coming. Then the boy said, see, from today onwards, Tata, you don't have to go down and pick up water. Water is there close by. Now you can go over here, collect as much as you want water for the Abhishek. And from today onward, this waterfall will be called as Akasha Ganga. It will be called as Akasha Ganga. Now he knew, Tirumala Nambi knew, this is no ordinary kid. This is no ordinary child at all. He said, I know you are not a small ordinary child. Who are you? You must be Bhagavan himself. You must be Lord Venkateshwara himself. You must show me your true form. At that point of time, the hunter's form disappeared. And in the place of the child, Lord stood over there. Bhagavan stood over there for him to have darshan. Tirumala Nambi prostrated to Bhagavan over there. He was so happy because Bhagavan had given him darshan. Why Bhagavan gave him darshan? Because of his faith, Shraddha, because of his love, bhakti, devotion. How he was doing day in and day out Bhagavan's seva. So when we really do seva for the Lord with all our faith and devotion, definitely Bhagavan will reward us. So then Bhagavan told him, from tomorrow onwards, take the water from here for the Abhishekam. And like I told you, it is called as Akasha Ganga. Even to this day, in Tirumala hills, for Abhishekam of Lord Venkateshwara, the water comes from Akasha Ganga. And who was instrumental in creating this waterfall? Bhagavan himself. And who was responsible? Tirumala Nambi. See, such great saints we have across the length and breadth of our country. Every state almost. So many great saints are there who have had darshan of Bhagavan. And all these beautiful, beautiful incidents about them. So therefore, from that day onwards, from where water was collected for Bhagavan's Abhishekam? From Akasha Ganga. And also Tirumala Nambi, he is responsible for so many of the pujas that go on even to this day in the Tirumala temple, in Lord Venkateshwara's temple. I don't know whether you have heard of Tomala Seva, Mantra Pushpa Kainkarim. There are so many pujas that happen all through the day in the temple. Many of them, who started it? Tirumala Nambi started it. Therefore, he is also known as Acharya Purusha, the best amongst the Acharyas. Acharyas means teacher for us. And from that day onward, Tirumala Nambi became known as Tata Acharya. Acharya means teacher, Guru. And what did Bhagavan as a hunter boy call him? Tata. So therefore, from that day onward, we also call him as Tata Acharya, Tata Acharya. Even to this day, Sri Vaishnavites keep this name for their children, Tata Acharya, because of this story. So it's a very beautiful story about how even to this day, for Lord Venkateshwara's Abhishekam, the water comes from Akasha Ganga. We can go and see also. When we go to Tirumala Hill, darshan of Bhagavan, there are so many little tirthams. We can go over there and then have darshan of them. Akasha Ganga also we can go and see.